Hey lovers, welcome to my channel. It's Bubbly Winnie. Welcome to the Positive Family. If you're new here, please do subscribe and become part of the Positive Family, where we're all about positivity. If you're an old subscriber, baby, and OG, thank you for coming back. We know that our mothers are superwomen. We know that our the female species in our families or in our lives are very, very superwomen. They are very, very powerful. They're very, very impactful in our lives. They play very, very important roles in our lives. However, it can be very difficult for them to maneuver this life thing when you have a young child or a daughter or a son who's living with HIV. It is very difficult to educate them. It's very difficult to be open with your child about that, which is what I experienced when I was a young girl. When I was a child, it was very, very difficult for my mom to open up to me. It was very, very difficult for my mom to to educate me about this thing that I'm living with, to tell me about it, to tell me what not to do, what to do, to basically give me that knowledge that I needed and that support that I needed to flourish as a young girl living with HIV. So which is what I don't want young people or young children who are growing up right now to go through. So this video is for all the mummies out there. This is some very, very valuable information that I want to share with you today, and I think it will be very, very helpful in raising a young child living with HIV. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. I'm going to tell you guys about KidzAlive and KidzAlive, right? So KidzAlive is an organization that is basically focused on bringing wholeness to children, to the youth, and to families. Basically, it's all about positive impact in the lives of young children, in the lives of families, in the lives of young people, youth, adolescents, right? So KidzAlive came up with this program called KidzAlive, which is the program that I want to chat to you guys about today. It's a very, very I think it's a very, very nice project or program. It's very, very enlightening. It's very, very helpful, and I think it will be very, very useful to all the mummies that are raising young children who are living with HIV. It's very, 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 very helpful. And I think if I had that kind of resources or those kind of programs around me when I was still growing up, it would be not easy, but it would be a bit of a breeze, knowing that I have support out there, knowing that there's something done to support me, and something that my parents or my mom or my family can go to seek for help, to seek for guidance. You know what I'm saying? So KidzAlive is basically a programming model for upskilling healthcare workers, primary caretakers of children, right? So it does that by bringing an integrated child package of care to address HIV, AIDS, and other chronic conditions affecting children. So what it does basically, it brings support to mummies, it brings support to daddies, it brings support to families, it supports also healthcare workers, and it also brings support to young children. So what does KidzAlive comprise of, or what are the components of KidzAlive? So KidzAlive provides healthcare workers with training and mentorship intervention. So we all know that our health workers need all the support that they can get, because they deal with so many challenges, they deal with so many situations daily, so they need that mentorship, that support, and that guidance to help them, and that training to get extra equipped for situations that they come across basically every day. And what KidzAlive also consists of is a KidzAlive Top 2 resources, which is paper-based, or it also comes in form of an app, right? It also consists of child-friendly spaces intervention, and kids adherence interventions, right? So what they do is they intervene. Basically, they intervene with helping you raise your child who is living with a chronic disease, right? So they equipped you with training as a mother or as a parent. How do you spill the beans basically to your child? How do you support your child? How do you educate your child, right? So they bring all that support to you as a young mommy. And I know I have a young mommy who once DM'd me and told me that they are struggling to tell their child. How do they tell their child about this, and not only how do you tell your child that they have it, but also how do you tell your child that you have it if maybe you were infected after like the child and whatever, maybe your current relationship right now. How do you tell your child, right? So it gives you all of that support that you need. How do you disclose to your child? How do you support your child? How do you support yourself? It gives you equipment, it gives you training, right? It comes in a form of an app. It also brings you a lot of resources. So I think this is valuable, very valuable and useful information that mommies really need out there, and also everyone and anyone else need it, right? So KidzAlive, it's a comprehensive psychosocial intervention for children and their primary caregivers targeting 0 to 12 years, addressing case finding of untested children. It addresses HIV counseling and testing. It addresses health promoting disclosure. It addresses child-friendly treatment literacy, linkages to care adherence, kid adherence support group. So what I remember that I needed back then was a mini support group as a child. So KidzAlive provides that to you, a mini support group. It provides caregivers and parents with support on how they can support their child in terms of treatment adherence, in terms of counseling and testing. So those are the programs, those are the support systems that KidzAlive comes with. So if you really need help with supporting your child, disclosure when it comes to maybe your child is not taking meds properly, treatment adherence, how can you maneuver around that? How can you manage that? KidzAlive is here to help you. And by the way, you guys, this is not sponsored, this is not paying me, KidzAlive is not paying me or anything like that. I just thought that this is valuable information that I need to share with mommies out there, because I know I needed it when I was still a child. I know that my mother needed it when I was still a child to support me, so I don't want any other young children to go through what I had to go through, child. Because no, we all need that support, we all need that shoulder to lean on, that hand to hold you and guide you, right? So this is what I'm doing by telling you about KidzAlive, right? Why do you have to go there and meet with KidzAlive? Why do you have to join KidzAlive, right? So what are the barriers to HIV care for children living in South Africa, right? So as a child living in South Africa with HIV or any other chronic illness, what are the challenges or the barriers that you come across, right? So you come across stigma, right? You come across stigma, and there's a lot of rejection, there's a lot of non-acceptance of diagnosis, because you're a child, you don't understand why me, why not you alone, mama, because I was not there, why do I have to suffer, why? So you get a lot of rejection, and you get a lot of non-acceptance, which I went through. I did not accept for a long time until I grew bigger, until I became more mature and more knowledgeable about this, and then I became at ease, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is fine, this is not bad, right? But then as a child, you don't know that. As a child, you like, I'm not built for this, right? So as a child, you go through that rejection, that non-acceptance of diagnosis, right? You go through Also, you have, like, as a child growing up, you also have your own challenges, and now you have to deal with this other thing. It is too much. So Zoe Life is also there to help you for that. You also, maybe as a parent, you also come across your own guilt. Like, you feel guilty. Why did I not protect the child? Why could I not protect the child? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? So Zoe Life is there to help you with that. Lack of specialized staff, lack of time. Maybe when you get to the clinic, there's lack of specialized staff. Wa kgerisiwa, wa bona, like, dinese di bua le wena ka re, wa bona. With all of that, Zoe Life is there to give you support, and I feel like that it is very important for children and for parents to get that support, because child going to the clinic, I know it is a stress, because you get to meet nurses that are not passionate about their job. Because of non-acceptance as a child, wa kgerisiwa, wa shoutiwa, and there's no proper conversation, proper communication between you and your nurse or your caretaker, right? So also there's lack of training or lack of materials. I know that my parent did not undergo any type of training to support me, any type of training to take care of me. There were no materials whatsoever to help me, no catalogs, no something to help, something to support me. She did not have any of that. So I feel like that this is important as a parent who's raising a child, to have all that support, all that materials that can help you to support your child. So I think Zoe Life is the girl for you. Zoe Life is the girl for you, and it's very important. It's a girl that she thinks she is. And when it comes to health workers, it provides skills to them. So it provides skills of identification of untested children through their caregiver, provides training, caregiver and child on treatment literacy. And they also provide tools such as Talk To, which is a paper-based and mobile app, such as adherence storyboard. Dealing with children, you have to be very, very careful, and it's not like adults where you just say, but with children you have to come up with creative ways to disclose to children, creative ways to let them know the importance of adherence to treatment. So they use tools such as adherence storyboards, right? They use also adherence templates. They use kids adherence activity manual and step-by-step guide for disclosure. So they give you all that type of support that you need. And the intervention that they provide to primary caregivers, which is your mother, your parent, your father, basically anyone who takes care of a child living with HIV. So they provide preparation prior to testing children. So before you test your child, they give you that they prepare you for that, prepare you for the consequences. They prepare you for what's gonna come, right? And they also provide education and tools on how to facilitate disclosure at a household level. That is what I needed when I was a child. There was no type of disclosure whatsoever. I was just told that I need to take medication at 7 p.m., which annoyed me because they did not disclose what it was for, which led me to defaulting, because I did not want to take them anymore because I did not know what it was for. So disclosure is very, very important. So they provide tools and education on how to do that at home as a parent. They also gives information and skills on how to provide adherence using child-friendly language. Like I said, I was just told, like, every day at 7 p.m. if I'm playing outside, because I used to play really, really late. So if I'm playing outside, it would be Winnie, please, and that's not child-friendly language. I don't know why KidzAlive, and so like they will provide with child-friendly language. How do you do that with a child? How do you deal with a child? So yeah, so the tools that they provide take-home leaflets with information regarding the following: information regarding talking to my child about HIV, which is disclosure. They provide tools such as leaflets which have information on helping my child adhere to medication. My Medicine and I, giving medicine to children, health promoting activities, right? Activities that you can go home and play with your child, right? Go home and do with your child, maybe some games that you can go home and do with your child, which will educate them in the way about adherence, about treatment, about disclosure, and about themselves, right? And keeping your body healthy and body safety. Those are also the tools that they provide you as a parent to go out there and teach your child, go out there and help and support your child. And they also provide intervention to children and adolescents. It doesn't just end with caregivers. As a child, as an adolescent, as a young person, I also need support, So what they provide is they provide services such as access to child-friendly trained healthcare workers. Child-friendly, that is a plus. They provide access to a child-friendly space, a space where children can play, a space where children can talk and be free, right? They also provide services such as child-centered counseling that is very basically for children. The person who will be counseling will be child-friendly and will be very, very kind to a child. They also provide health promoting disclosure, treatment literacy. As a child, you also need to know these things. I know kids these days are very, very smart, very, very intelligent. If you did tell them these things, they will also, as a parent, they will also remind you sometime, and they will also educate you sometime. Mama, no, you remember you said that I take this once a day, right? And this is for what. So I think that treatment literacy is very, very important for children because they can also help you. Or when you're not there, I know that I have a cousin who has a son, and the son was born HIV positive, right? The son is very, very, like, my grandmother is raising the child, so the child is very, very literate. Like, he knows that even when he's playing outside, he knows that he must take medication at 7, and every time Hariduzi watching TV, Rhythm City, or what, I don't know what King's 7, and then he knows it's time for treatment, and he knows where to find it, he knows how many pills he must take, right? So that is very, very important because sometimes he reminds Coco, it's time for DPDs. So yeah, it's very, very important to teach your child about their treatment. And they also receive services such as attend structured kids adherence support group which we all need. Even as adults, we need support groups. And they provide tools such as creative activities using kids adherence templates that can be used at the clinic and at the household level. Games, activities, those are the things that the child are engaged to all the time. And when you do deal with the child, you have to provide activities that are very, very creative, very, very fun to do, and things that will not be straining and hard on them, but they will also be educational, right? They provide tools such as also reading or listening to stories that elaborate and reiterate information shared by the healthcare worker. Like I said, bringing games or activities, read and write activities that provide or that have the same information as what the healthcare worker said. For example, such as maybe treatment, maybe bring in story times, stories that are very, very child friendly and creative, and that talk about treatment adherence, which is very, very important. So the reason for me telling you all this information is because I want all the mummies out there, all the caregivers out there, all the caretakers out there, all the parents out there to have this information. Go there. We need to hit up KidzAlive and see what they really have in store. It is very, very important for your child to be educated about this. It's very, very important for your child to know themselves. Disclosure is very, very important, and I feel like if I had that back when I was growing up, it would be very, very better. I wouldn't be where, maybe I would be where I wouldn't be, I don't know. But what I'm saying is that, like, it's very, very important for children to grow well, knowing that they have support, knowing that they're not alone, knowing that this is not hard as people out there make it seem, and not minding the stigma, not minding the rejection, and knowing that you are who you are, you're beautiful the way you are. This is not the end of the world, baby. You can still live as long as 90 years old. So I think that is very, very important to help the mummies out there. And also because I've received a DM that told me that hey, how do I tell my child, so I thought really that KidzAlive, it is the place to, or it is the program to head up. It is Zoe Life are the correct people to talk to about that. So if you really want more information on Zoe Life and KidzAlive, just go to Google and click and just type Zoe Life, KidzAlive, and then you will see all the information on the contacts where you can access them and how you go about it. But just know that they are based, Zoe Life is based in Durban, but I know that, they are, their programs and whatever can help you. So they already have a website, so just go to Google and type Zoe Life, KidzAlive. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really hope that it enlightened you somehow. I hope that it helped the mama out there, it helped the daddy out there, it helped the gogo out there, and yeah, please do subscribe, like, comment what you thought of the video, what you would really like to see more on my channel, and also share the video with those who you think needs to hear or need to watch it. So without further ado, I love you so much, and until next time, see you in my next one. Bye. Hey lovers, as I'm editing this video, I'm realizing that I should actually insert this clip where I walk you through the Zoe Life website and what you do when you get into Google, because I just said that you go into Google and type Zoe Life. So I'm just gonna show you how to find the KidzAlive website. So you just go to Google and type KidzAlive, and then you go to the search button, and then you go to their website. When you go to the website, when you enter their website, you are gonna come across their logo, KidzAlive, and then you will basically in. So you basically know where to find. They have training and resources. When you need to know about their brochure, what is it that they do, you're gonna go and download the brochure here. You're gonna just click on this link, and then if you want to contact them on booking your training or ordering resources and stuff, you guys just gonna go to KidzAlive at zoelife.co.za, contact them and ask them anything and book your appointments for your training. And also you can also order your resources there. And when you go and click on the three lines there at the top right, that's when you're gonna see the Talk Tool app, training and resources. Everything that you need to know is on the website. Just go to kidzalive.co.za. I love you. Mwah.